Good evening, everyone. This is Mr. Holland with another Prezi for you. While I'm not there in class, I'm there in spirit, okay? You've seen, again, your assignments that have been due. Keep in mind, I can get on Edmodo at any time and observe your actual progress. While I may be at training in Macon, Georgia, again, I'm there with you right here, right now. Just like the time video. Time. So keep in mind, with this particular Prezi, this is going to go a little more in depth in the sales. Okay? We have some major ideas with sales, and there are 7 points to sales that we are going to cover. In particular, you need to understand that the 7 points of sales will be on the quiz on Friday. So the good news is this video will be posted on Edmodo, so you can actually review this in your off hours outside the class. And it's important for you to understand that the particular quizzes that I'm going to be creating from this point on are going to be much more in depth than they have been before. A lot of what we covered from before now have been common sense. These have been the fundamentals of what it is in the business and trade industry, okay, the business and technology industries, whether it be ethics, whether it be leadership, whether it be the leadership styles, whether it be soft skills or whatever. All of those up to this point have been common sense denominators. When we get into the scenarios now where we have sales, we have marketing, we have marketing strategies, marketing research, these are defined areas. In other words, there's no gray areas, there's no areas for interpretation. It is what it is, okay? So while you're watching this video and you're watching the actual Prezi continue through, remember, this stuff is important. When it comes to the class, you're in Introduction to Business and Technology for whatever reason you decided. Alright? But the idea is I want you to understand by the time you finish this course, you have at least a basic fundamental of what it is to be in marketing and industry, what it is to be in trade and industry, what it is to have the particular skills needed for employment. I've always talked about standard 1 from week 1, day 1. Employability skills. The idea when you leave my classroom is this, is that even if you don't learn anything else, even if you just breeze through the stuff, if the one thing you can remember is the importance of employability skills, the importance to understand that I have to have qualities in myself that make me an attribute slash goodness to an employer. I have to be a commodity and not be a contingency plan, okay? And not be a risk factor. That's the important thing when it comes to this class, this course, is to understand that. Alright? So sales, all you're ever going to want to know. Sales 101, all you will ever need to know. The key rules of sales is this. Number 1, you got to get your product out there. Make it easy to buy. Make them want it. Repeat steps 1 through 3 and celebrate the wins. Okay, it's real simple. Now, let's backtrack. The industry. The CPG industry is massive. It's comprised of basically any items imaginable that you can use. Again, shopper marketing, I don't need to tell you about that. You all are already experts of that already. If you look at all of these products, you know these products. When you look at them right now, who doesn't know Toys R Us? Who doesn't know Walmart? Save money, live better. Right? Even Ocean Spray, I guarantee you there's many of you in this class right now that know it because of your parents. Babies R Us, Lowe's, okay? You've got Heinz ketchup, all right? You've got Kraft, Energizer, PepsiCo, which isn't as popular as just straight up Pepsi, but you get the picture, okay? You've got Orbit, Wrigley's, there's your Pepsi down there in the bottom left-hand corner. Okay? There is just a myriad of products here for you to understand. We can just focus on the selling to the retailers. Alright, segmentation is necessary to help break out targets. Alright, someone has to navigate. Now, the challenges, okay, it says with challenges there's a lot of work needed to be successful. You have, this is the importance, again, this all has to do with the a little more depth of the questioning we have when you go to your quizzes this week. You're going to understand after seeing this and understanding it's not as easy as do you do this or this? Is it true or false? Okay? When you look at this, let's just look at the store conditions. Alright? You have to look at your store's conditions. Limited promotional execution, obviously. Poor POG compliance. Battle for space is a big one. Category shrinking. You have your big labels that are gonna have so much space in Kroger, so much space. And when we talk about space, it's going to be the idea of the space on the shelf to sell your particular product. Okay, store brand expanding. In other words, if you have your Laura Lynn or your Great Value from Walmart or your Archer Farms, etc., those products, when let's say Kroger is selling their stuff, they're going to want to sell their own product. They're going to want to sell their version of mac and cheese more than they're going to want to sell the Kraft mac and cheese. Okay, so it's a battle, a constant battle for space. Clean store policies, obviously. There's a myriad of red tape, if you will, that you have to understand depending on what product you're trying to sell. Alright, you have demanding shoppers. Okay, you got brand and channel shifting. One minute they may want black glasses, the next minute they may want white glasses. Okay, bargain hunting. Shoppers in this day and age, after the crisis of the 2008 collapse of our, monetary infrastructure, we have bargain hunters. We have seeking convenience. We have people that are looking at things, and the big battle now, if you look at the commercials on TV, it's Walmart versus Kroger. Walmart's like, why would you just want to save 10 cents a gallon when you can save $7.80 altogether in your bill? And if you're only going to save 10 cents a gallon on 18 gallons, it's only $1.80 versus $7.80 in our store. Which one are you going to do? Take the savings we have and buy your gas with it. Okay, it's that type of thing. So it's just a back and forth tug of war. Okay, then you have your demanding retailers. Reset requirements, obviously. They have policy on how long you can have the products in the store without having them reset or replaced with newer items. You have new stores and remodels. The flooring plans are something to consider. You've got your changing POGs. It's just, again, those end caps. It's like I had a friend that worked for Coca-Cola, and he had a particular store that he went in, and he did the entire layout in the center aisle for people to come by. It was opening weekend of football. They were expecting to sell, several units of Coca-Cola products and chips, dips, etc. And the store did not like the stack. So he had to go back in and remodel the entire stack because it was just too high. Okay? So in regards to that, you got to remember your retailers sometimes can make it difficult for you to be successful. You have coverage decisions. Which retailers and stores are you going to use? Are you going to use your Krogers and Walmarts, or are you going to use your CVS's and Walgreens? Okay, syndicated or dedicated. Okay, Syndicated. Are you going to put this thing out there for everyone to see, whether it be the TV, whether it be the radio, etc., or are you going to have it dedicated word of mouth to local policies? Okay, and low value, obviously low value activities, whether it be coupons, whether it be store promotions, etc. What coverage decisions are you going to have? You also have investment decisions. Okay, is it consumer marketing? Is it a trade promotion? Is it retail store coverage? These type of questions, while they, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail here now because this is just the introduction portion. When you get into entrepreneurial, the pathway there, when you get into that, you're going to get into a lot more of the decision-making processes that are shown here, okay? I'm just touching base on these. Okay, we've got your back. Let's break it down. Sales is a process of introducing new items to the market. In the simplest form, it's all about protecting your space at shelf and increasing profits. That's the only real goal. Okay, it's achieved in a number of ways. Number one, item innovation, item expansion or variation. Look at Coca-Cola. You now have Coke Zero, you have Coke Diet Coke, you have Diet Coke caffeine free. You had vanilla Coke, etc. Okay. You also have promotional planning, promotional support, customer relationship management, retail execution, innovation, and of course post-promotional analysis. These are all items that you need to know, at least the basics to understand when it comes down to sales. But again, you're not going to go into massive details on these until you continue whatever pathway you choose. Now, how about a closer look at the actual sales process? Okay. In this view, we can see the life cycle of a product as it pertains to item, sell, and the management. You've got the idea, you have the deal, and then you have the cash flow. Ka-chow. Alright, so you have the 7 steps of sales. Okay, 7 steps. Alright, number 1, you have the opportunity gap identification. Alright, you have the ability to identify consumer needs based on a combination of historical data and future trends. This is all about research and development, people. It's what it's about. This can arguably be the most important step in the failure/success of a product. When evaluating new items and their potential for success, you are writing a roadmap for the future of the business. Okay, to do this, companies pay attention to as many information sources that are available. No one goes out on a whim. No one goes out on an idea and just says, hey, this is going to be great. I mean, we have great believers in that and people that do that, but 99% of those folks are bankrupt. 99% of those folks are unsuccessful. 99% of those people you've never heard of and you never will. Okay? So you're going to use cold, hard facts, which will be in the form of syndicated data, consumer-focused data, test formula data, competitive information, and retailer asks, Q&A type things. All of these items and more are evaluated in order to make an informed decision. Obviously, after chosen, the ideas are carefully reviewed and scrutinized until a decision is made. Now, this example over here with Cliff, the nutritional bars, is there an opportunity for Cliff to develop their holiday market? Can you think of anything like that? Is there even a demand for that? Is there an opportunity? Is there information to support that? Okay? And again, finally, which direction are they looking to take their business? Now, you have number 2, you have the creative development. You're probably familiar with this one. Obviously, this is a step where the product concepting is taking place. A look, feel, and life force is given to the items here. It goes from an opportunity to an idea. For success, this concept must match the goals at hand. Number 3, sales story creation. This is where the sales deck is developed. Now, the sales deck is a very important piece as it has to travel several layers in the buyer's organization. It must be cohesive, understandable, precise, and to the point, while telling everything there is to tell. This is a direct link from the marketing side of the business and the sales side in terms of telling their story. If this message is lost, then there is great risk of product failure. Just make sure it tells a story and has an ask. In other words, it has a question. Alright. Number 4, sales strategy. Know the retailer. Let's take Kmart for example. Alright, knowing the retailer inside and out is important. Their team members, buying structure, shoppers, their plans, and their goals. What relationships will you need for success? This is a list of the names of people that work at Kmart, and this is their title. Obviously, if you're wanting to use Kmart as your platform for what you're deciding to do, these are the people that can make your dreams come true. Alright, who is the shopper? If you look at demographics, this is age groups, this is the number of monies for the household incomes, the number of persons per household. Again, these are types of things that happen when you're doing your research, when you're doing surveys. Okay, this is the information. What does the customer want? What does the customer need? Alright, their goals versus their plans. What are the essentials that will influence buying decision at the headquarter levels and at retail? Obviously, their goals. Knowing their retailer's goals, both as an organization and the category level, can help you with develop a product offering. Alright, if you can help tailor your selection to their needs and wants, you can be seen as a strategic planner. Obviously, you need to know what's important to Kmart, what's important to their drives, their wants, their needs, and how can you help them achieve that. When you do this, identifying needs are the needs that they don't know they have. This is where education piece comes in. Knowledge is power, people. Their plans. The key concept is to be seen as a strategic partner. This is relationship selling and relationship management. So it is essential to have a plan and to help them execute against their needs, okay? How do they view themselves? Who do they think their competition is? Who do their shoppers think their competition is? And where will they be in 5 years, 10, and 50? How can we use sales? How can we, as salespeople, offer solutions that help them achieve their plans? Know what you want. Oh, you want to sell more product. You're starting to sound like a client. Let's be more specific. Obviously, sales goals are developed and scoped for each individual account. Again, this is going into some major in-depth stuff. You just want to think of goals and planning. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. You've got to create a plan. Once we have our goals, we are tasked with figuring out how we will achieve them. Alright. 5 is selling, product recommendations. Set a meeting and know your buyer. Alright. So the most important thing here is you may already have a relationship with the buyer. If not, you will need to get their information and begin the selling process to even get a meeting. Okay. This again is getting a little more in depth. The idea is for you to understand negotiation. The only rule in negotiations is that there are no rules. 6, sales support. Trade spend management, support vehicles, category management, and focus. Again, like I said, a lot of this stuff I want you to understand. 7, analysis. Plans are only viable if they're updated based on current movement and current data. If there are programs that are working more successful than others, then lesser successful programs need to be adjusted, okay? Alright, talk retail. Again, that will be covered in class on Thursday, and thank you. One of the big things I want to jump back to here, if I can, just in closing on this, I want you to understand the most important thing in what I'm trying to show you here as we're jumping back and we're moving back is there's the 7 steps of the sales process, okay? And the idea is for you to understand right here you have 7 steps of the process of selling an item. You've got number 1, opportunity gap identification. Number 2, creative development. Number 3, sales story creation. Number 4, sales strategy. Number 5, selling. Number 6, sales support. And number 7, analysis. I went into a little detail on some of these for you to understand the depth of them and exactly what they mean, the meat and potatoes of what they are. But the most important thing for you to understand right now is that there are 7 steps to selling a product, and they are identified here, okay? So with that being said, again, this is another video that I have finished up, and if I can go ahead and get out of Prezi, I can actually stop the video, which I've not been able to do.